All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a big name in the electric truck world, the Chevrolet Silverado EV. And we're going to zero in on what's new, what's different, and what's better as we go from the 2025 LT model to the 2026 version. Look, the 2025 Silverado EV LT was no slouch. It was a seriously powerful and versatile truck, a huge leap forward, for sure. But for 2026, the story isn't about starting over. It's about refinement. The truck was already strong. Now it's just getting a whole lot smarter. So what we're going to do here is pretty simple. We'll walk through exactly what's changed, but more importantly, we're going to talk about why these changes matter. We'll break down the tweaks to the design, the capability, and the tech that really make this 2026 model a significant upgrade. And that's really the theme here. We're not talking about some radical, throw everything out kind of redesign. This is about evolution. It feels like Chevrolet took a really solid truck and just focused on making it better for the people who are actually going to live with it every day. And this quote just nails it. This gets right to the heart of the philosophy behind the 2026 truck. The focus was crystal clear: enhance everyday usability, capability, and comfort. You're going to see that every single update we talk about ties back to one of those three things. So let's start where you always start, with that first impression, the outside. Now, you're still going to know it's a Silverado EV right away, but there are some subtle, pretty important updates to how it looks. The changes aren't just for the sake of change, They feel really deliberate. So let's take a closer look at what gives this 2026 model a slicker, more refined look. It's kind of funny how a few small tweaks can make such a big difference. We're talking about things like updated lighting signatures, the way the lights look, and a much cleaner design for the front end. It's not some massive overhaul, but when you put it all together, it just gives the truck this more modern and, I'd say, cohesive vibe on the road. And this comparison really shows the shift in thinking. The 2025 model had to make a big, bold splash, right? It had to announce, hey, I'm here, I'm an electric truck. The 2026 model, well, it feels more confident. The design is less about shouting that it's new and more about just being purposeful and refined. Okay, let's move past the looks. The 2026 model also gets smarter, where it really counts, with the features that actually help you get stuff done, whether you're working or just heading out for a weekend trip. This is where the engineering just gets really cool. That dual motor 4WD, it's not just for mudding. It gives you incredible confidence when the roads get slick. And the available four-wheel steer, oh man, that is a total game changer. It makes this big truck feel so much smaller, making parking lots and tight spots way, way less of a headache. And that multi-flex tailgate, it's like the Swiss Army knife of tailgates. It can be a step, a workbench, a load stop. It just simplifies your whole life when it comes to loading and unloading gear. And of course, you can't talk about an EV without talking about the powertrain. The 2026 LT still gives you options for the battery: standard, extended, and max range. So you can pick the one that actually fits how you drive and what you need to haul. And no matter which one you pick, you get that awesome instant torque that EVs are known for. All right, let's open the door and hop inside. Because the upgrades for 2026 aren't just on the outside or under the floor. They've also put a lot of thought into making the time you actually spend driving the truck better. The whole goal in here seems to be about making your life easier and driving less of a chore. Yeah, the cabin is still massive and spacious, but the focus for 2026 is on how you interact with everything. That huge center screen is your command center, and they've refined it and the driver displays to feel more intuitive. Everything's right where you'd expect it to be. Now, when it comes to tech, you gotta start with safety. It's the foundation. So the 2026 LT comes standard with Chevrolet's Safety Assist. And this isn't just one thing. It's a whole package of systems, like automatic emergency braking and lane keep assist, that all work together to give you more confidence out there. But beyond all those standard safety features, there's an available piece of tech that can completely change how you feel about one of the most stressful parts of driving, that long, boring highway trip. And here it is. Super Cruise. This is the real deal. True hands-free driving technology on compatible highways. For anyone who deals with long commutes or road trips, this is an absolute game changer. It fundamentally changes the driving experience by cutting down on fatigue and stress in a huge way. So, we've looked at the updates to the design, the capability, and the tech. Let's kind of zoom out and bring it all together. What does this all mean for the Silverado EV LT? I mean, when you put it all in a blender, the more refined look, the smarter real-world features, and the seriously advanced tech, what kind of truck do you end up with? And here's the bottom line. The 2026 Silverado EV LT is just a more complete, more confident all-electric pickup. It feels like it's moved past just being a cool piece of EV tech and has become a genuinely better truck to live with day in and day out. Which kind of makes you wonder, as these amazing features like four-wheel steering and hands-free driving get more common, are we watching the electric truck evolve from just a workhorse into something else? A truly all-purpose, high-tech vehicle for just about everyone?